All right, everybody, shalom and welcome to Yishai Fleisher TV, broadcasting live from Judea, and you're a part of it wherever you are. Shalom. Today, we're going to talk about the issue of refugees. You know, everybody wants to throw around the word genocide, right? As though Israel's committing a genocide. We're not. Just we're not. We're fighting bad guys, and there are, sadly, civilian so-called collateral damage, no doubt about it, but there's definitely no genocide. Israel is the army that tries the hardest in the world to minimize civilian casualties. But still, though, there is a simple way to minimize civilian casualties, which is not being offered up. And that is the one thing that's being done all over the world when you have wars, and that is refugees. Help people get out. What Israel should have done the first day of the war is blown a hole between Egypt, an Arab country that borders Gaza, and allowed refugees to seep through there. Anybody who wants to be a non-combatant, go to the Sinai Desert in Egypt. And anybody who wants to stay and fight, then you're a combatant, and Israel will fight you and hopefully destroy you. And that is the point that I made on Piers Morgan's show, Uncensored, a very important show seen by millions of people. And I was on it talking to Piers specifically about that. Check out the progression of my answer about nuclear arms, and then the issue of refugees, and finally the issue of what's actually happening in Iran, all in one answer to one question. Before we get to that Piers Morgan video, I just want to remind you that there's great ways to support the things that we do here at Yishai Fleisher TV. One of those ways is fightforisrael.org, fightforisrael.org. Great website. There it is right there. Bang. Fightforisrael.org, where you could support our beautification of the land of Israel, teaching Torah to the world, and broadcasting truth instead of what the bad guys are putting out there, all those lies. If you want to support the show, buymeacoffee.com/Yishai. And if you want me to come and visit your community or want to communicate with me, boom, Yishai at YishaiFleisher.com. Without further ado, here is my appearance on Piers Morgan during the war, talking about the issue of refugees.
Okay, Yishai, the one question that has been resolutely not answered very well by people on the Israeli side is, why is it that Israel can be so concerned about everybody else's ability to have nuclear weapons in the Middle East, and yet itself, everybody knows Israel has a large nuclear defense armory, but they never admit it. No government has admitted it, and they don't lay themselves open to any of the normal checks and balances that go with being a nuclear power. Why is Israel given this extraordinary pass on nuclear weapons?
I've never seen the Israeli nuclear armament, so I can't say for sure. But, you know, just like you, that's what we've heard all these years. And I think that if Israel indeed does have nuclear weapons, it's probably because we are responsible. We are a responsible country in the region that is the power broker, that is the defender, that is the responsible grown-up around there. And if you give nuclear arms to the Jews and the Israelis, that's one thing. And if you give it to the Iranian regime, which, you know, murders its own people in the streets every day, which has a whole suppression police, which funds terrorism, as you noted earlier, like, these guys are going to use it in a bad way. So I think it's very simple.
But do you think Israel is behaving
and the jihadist, the Iranian regime?
Yeah, but I would say, do you think that anything that Israel's currently doing in Gaza can be described as responsible?
Well, we had to destroy the Hamas organization. And, you know, Piers, on many of your shows.
Now, watch this. This is the important part, right? This is the part where I turn it on Piers and I ask him a very serious question. And check out his reply. But this question is one of the most important questions of our time. Why? Well, I guess I'll let myself say it on Piers Morgan. Let's check this out.
Which I watch. You talk a lot about genocidal language. You talk a lot about you ask, you know, you grill people on the numbers. And I wanted to ask you, where is your responsibility as a journalist to ask the most basic question, which is, why isn't the world allowing for refugees, right? When you in Ukraine, Russia, there are 4.25 million refugees that are spread all over Europe.
4.5 million refugees all over Europe.
In the Syrian civil conflict, there are 6.8 million refugees. They're in Turkey, they're in Europe. When you have a war conflict, you try to save people, non-combatants. You help them move out of the way. And nobody is allowing Egypt, an Arab country bordering Gaza, is not allowing Arabs to come in there to be refugees just to save their lives. Could it be that the reason that some of these players don't want the most natural thing, which is refugees, which is, by the way, part of international law? International law says the starting point for international protection is the admission of people fleeing persecution and violence to a territory where they could seek asylum and find safety. Where is that? Where is the call for that? That's the most obvious and basic thing. So if you don't have a call for that, then the people that are left there are collateral damage. They're getting hurt. And then people like you are like, what? There's like almost a genocide over there. Yeah, help them get out of the way. Help them get out of harm's way.
Well, look, my response to that would be that it's...
First thing you notice, I really turned the tables and I started asking questions. Like the international media is constantly, the anti-Israel folks, they're constantly, hammering away at this word genocide, which is a lie, which is a made up thing. But still, though, there are civilian casualties. There are children being killed in this conflict. But the basic thing that you have all over the world, which is refugees getting out of harm's way. Again, in Ukraine, these are recent wars. In the Syrian civil war, that's what you have. You have refugees. And here, these so-called Palestinians, the Gazans, are not being allowed to leave. We know that there are different numbers, but we know that there are a huge percentage that want to get out. We've shown videos of them being like, just open the door, just let us get out. And yet, the Arab world wants to jail them inside, maybe the Europeans as well. They don't seem to be sending boats to be taking refugees. Why? So that they can accuse Israel of genocide, so that they could use these people as civilian shields, as human shields from Israel. So you get either you stop Israel from striking hard at Hamas, or if Israel indeed inadvertently kills a civilian, you use that against them as well. That's what's happening out there. And the simple question of the world that the world needs to be asked is, where's the Gazan refugees? There should be 2 million refugees out of there, okay? If that's the right number. We never know what the real so-called Palestinian numbers are. They lie about that as well. But okay, whatever the number is, they should be allowed to leave. All right, let's see how Piers handles it.
Pretty clear from what people like Smotrich are saying, they don't want any Palestinians coming back. They don't believe in a refugee program. They believe in ethnic cleansing. They want all Palestinians out of the Gaza Strip irrevocably. And
I'm asking you, Piers,
that's not a refugee.
Forget Smotrich.
Listen, I happen to agree with you. I happen to agree with you that the neighboring Arab countries could be doing more. I don't dispute that for a moment.
They block.
You think they could be doing more? That's the answer there. They think they could be doing more. They're blocking these people from leaving. They want them dead over there. You think they could be doing more? Yeah, I think they could be doing more.
They block Arabs from going
but
in.
I also understand why many Palestinians and many Arabs look at the situation and hear what people like Smotrich say and think that there is a bigger picture plan going on here, which is for ultimately Israel to take complete control of Gaza and to take complete control of the West Bank.
Piers, can I just demonstrate real quick how Yishai is going to be?
Hang on, Omar, I will come to you. I just want Yishai to respond to that point.
I'll answer this quickly. The answer is like this. We don't have a war with Arabs. We don't have a war with Palestinians. We don't have a war with Islam. We have a war with jihadism. It happens to be that a lot of people in Gaza are pro-Hamas. We saw all the videos. We know that. And so jihadists got to leave. They can't be inside our country and they can't be on our borders. They can't threaten us. That's who we're dealing with. I asked you a question about refugees to help save more people. That's what I want to see. I think that's what most Israelis want to see.
I want everybody that's watching the show today to just ask a simple question, which is, where's the Gazan refugees? Why can't we help them get out? Why are we allowing the Egypt and other Arab countries to not take in refugees and then to call us genociders? That's the question. Let's help the refugees get out. Let's make Gaza new again. Let's get them out of this horrible situation, this rubble, this destruction, this war, this control by Hamas. Let's give them new opportunities. And that's what I said on Piers Morgan. And that's what we should be challenging the world with, okay? And all the other excuses, Israel wants to ethnically cleanse and all that kind of stuff, that's all bogus. It's exactly the opposite. It's that the jihad wants to use those people in Gaza as human shields to stop Israeli fighting against terrorism, to stop us from finding our hostages. And they're keeping those people hostages, and they're stopping them from having a future. And they're not doing that in the Syrian civil war. They're not doing that in Ukraine, where people can go and find a different life when there's a war, a sad situation of war, but there is a way out. It's called being a refugee, and the world accepts it. The world embraces refugees and gives them a new life. That's what we should be doing here. All right, folks, we got to stop being hostages to the lies of lying media. And that's why, thank God, today there's YouTube, there's podcasts, there's a way to break out. And I want to really thank you for that opportunity to broadcast to you. And you got to help. You got to be part of that. And the way to help is to check out ways to support us. buymeacoffee.com/Yishai is an easy way to do it. And fightforisrael.org to support both our broadcasting and our other projects to beautify the land of Israel, make it bigger and stronger. Yishai Fleisher TV is the YouTube channel name. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and check out the store. We have a great store, which is a really fun. It's developed and controlled by Malka. Check it out. She's doing a great job there. And of course, don't forget to write me an email or invite me to your community, yishai@yishaifleisher.com. And don't forget one of our many important slogans: go big and go home. That's right. Go big and go home. Thank you very much to my team, and thank you to wherever you are. And thank you to God Almighty, Hashem, creator of the world, king of the universe, who gives us strength to broadcast from his good land to make his dream come true, which is the return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel and the third Jewish commonwealth in the land of Israel, leading, that's right, to a third temple. And B'ezrat Hashem, with the help of God, these eyes, your eyes, are going to see it soon. God bless you wherever you are. Lots of love and lots of blessings, and shalom.